Hey guys, great to be with everyone today. I just wanted to come on with a quick training, a little conversation surrounding spiritual warfare. I hear a lot on a regular basis that, oh my goodness, the enemy is coming against me and I don't know what to do. Or I hear there is so much spiritual warfare right now, it's ridiculous, and things of that nature. And I really feel that there's so much to say on this subject, to the point of Arrowsat just proud to say that we have a main trail. We're all about hiking here, and we have a main trail that I believe that everyone should get to see their mountaintop peak destination. Now, when you walk up a trail, walk up on a hike, and you get to the very top of a mountain, it reminds me so much of like when Mufasa's talking to Simba in The Lion King, where he's like, look at all that is in front of you. Look at all that you can see. All of this is yours. And I really feel that if you can step fully into your identity and be purposeful and intentional about your life, you can step fully into that God-given destiny. But here's the thing, you have to be able to show up as yourself. Now, I was working on my new framework that I am releasing right now in January. You might want to hop on board. It is so fun and so about vision and destiny and purpose and identity. It's so exciting. And here's the thing, and I was looking at Proverbs 4, and I really feel it sums it up. Proverbs 4 is all about getting wisdom. And how do you get wisdom? Through life experience, or you can actually skip the line by having an incredible mentor that would really pull you forward, or like me as your trail guide. I've got all the stuff in my backpack that you need for the hike, so your hike can be easier and lighter weight if you roll with me. And so me, you, and Jesus can climb up this hike and get to your mountaintop destination where you stop living in mediocrity and you get to see that all that God has for you when you step fully into who He's called you to be. And I was reading in Proverbs 4 this morning, and it says, wisdom is the most valuable commodity, so buy it. Revelation knowledge is what you need, so invest in it. This is the time. This is a new year. 2023 is a time to step out of transition season and into a new and incredibly refreshing, fun season. And so I urge you to do the pivots that God's calling you to do, and that might just mean investing in yourself. And I tell you what, you are worthy, and this quest is worth it. Even God says, gain wisdom. I can be along on the trail with you, hiking up that mountain and carrying part of that weight for you to make it lighter, make it easier, to make you traverse it quicker. And I was thinking about all this, and I'm working with one of my clients right now on spiritual warfare in particular. She is facing some stuff. And so I want to give you, just coming up in the next few weeks, a few snippets of what I have learned. God has called me a spiritual warrior. That is part of who He uniquely created me to be. And the way you become a spiritual warrior is not through love and pleasantries and lightness, and it's not always like a fun track, right? It's through pain and hardship and perseverance and trying, and you grow. Everything is an opportunity. When you win, you have an opportunity to celebrate. When you fail, you have an opportunity to learn and to grow. And I've been able to traverse some of these trails, particularly the spiritual warfare trail. And so I'm so excited because I have created a second loop that you can take off of the main trail of the hike. You can take another loop, and it's going to be a spiritual warfare loop. And I am so excited to release that upcoming soon. Let me know, comment below, inbox me if you would like to take the spiritual warfare loop. But today I want to share with you 2 short concepts and let you on your way for the day. Number 1, God has an upside down kingdom. How many of you know that the stuff of heaven doesn't work the same as the stuff on earth, right? And so if you look at this, how many world wars were won by waving a white flag and surrendering? But I'll tell you what, in the kingdom, wars are won through surrender It is so crazy. So what does it look like to just surrender to what God has for you and watch him fight the battle for you? The battle's already won. It's just about taking the land. And it's just about staying purposeful, not getting distracted, and walking out your journey with God and with others. Remember, relationship is everything with God and with each other. And it is so important that we walk this together. And I would love the honor to help you through this. But I'll tell you what, the biggest successes you will have will be through the art of surrender. You know, there was a time that I was praying for about 9 months, asking God for a solution to a problem I was facing. And I was getting nothing. I'm like, Lord, where are you? I know you care about this. And it was at this moment that I laid it down and was deciding to just stop and let it go. When I surrendered it, he brought forth the answer in that very moment. So my question is, what is kind of the holdback? Are you getting stuck in a muddy trail that's slowing you down, that's keeping you back because you just simply need to let it go? And number 2, real quick, something that's huge for me has won many victories in my life through this concept. It was from a correction that God gave me about 4.5 years ago. I had gone through a tremendously difficult, traumatizing life experience. And it was not just one day. Things just kept going for months. It was one of the most hurtful times of my life. And I remember I was sitting there and a friend was leading me in the same way as I lead my clients. I believe that coaches need coaches too, right? And he was asking me the question. He said, close your eyes and allow Jesus to give you a picture. So I did. You know, it's encounter time, right? God will place things in our imagination, that place where vision is birthed, to show us what he's trying to say to us. And so I closed my eyes. I allowed God to give me a picture. And the question was, Jesus, where are you in this circumstance? And when I closed my eyes and I asked Jesus where he was, I saw this crowd of people, and they are hurling insults. They were slandering. They were bitter. They were lying. It was just horrible stuff. And Jesus was behind them. And I was like, whoa, dude, why is Jesus behind the entire crowd? So, of course, my coach, being a good coach, said, ask Jesus. Jesus, why are you behind the crowd? And this is where my whole world burst open. I learned so much about spiritual warfare in that time and in that moment. But he said, Rebecca, I'm back there because that's where you put me. And I had this aha moment, this incredible awakening that I had given the enemy and the fight in the battle so much of my attention that it actually became higher than Jesus's place in my life. So how can he fight the battle for you if you believe the enemy is stronger than him? I'm telling you, one of your greatest weapons of warfare is not shouting at the enemy. It's not focusing on what he's doing. In fact, I love what Bill Johnson says. I only focus on the enemy long enough to set my bullseye on him. I'm reminded of this horribly old school movie, hang tight with me, but it was this kind of a Halloween-y kind of movie. It was called Beetlejuice, and if the kid said Beetlejuice, his name 3 different times, he would then manifest in front of them. He would come and be there. And I really feel like that's an actual concept that we can really be using, is that if I'm going to call the enemy out constantly, that's going to give it authority to manifest in my life. It's going to bring it to pass, because what I focus on is the direction that I will go. And so if I continue to focus on the enemy, I will continue to go in that direction. Isn't that heartbreaking? And then a lot of us sit there and we say, God, where have you been? And he's like, you put me there. So to diminish our focus on the enemy and put our entire attention on heaven, to put our attention on the presence of God, to put our attention on the supremacy of Jesus in our life is some of the greatest spiritual warfare we can ever do. I know that the majority of us get taught that spiritual warfare is yelling at the enemy. And honestly, there is so much room for taking authority. It's not even funny. There is so much room for that. But sometimes taking authority looks like just plain surrendering your fear to God and giving Him your focus and staying in a place of peace and staying in a place that you are resolved, face like a flint, set your heart on what He is doing, having confidence that you hear His voice. So 2 things. Sometimes the greatest battles are won through surrender. And number 2, the majority, all of the time, battles are won with the tool of knowing that Jesus is supreme and placing your focus on Him. I really hope that encourages you today. I really believe a lot of us do not know what spiritual warfare really looks like and how we can truly win and rule and reign in our life. This group is about trailblazers, pioneers, adventurers, visionaries. All of you are going to face trials and battles that you seem to think that you might not get through them. And here's the thing. This is where this comes in mind. Get a hold of me. I would love to walk you through those things. I would love to help to see you step fully into your identity, doing life on purpose, fulfilling that God-given destiny while ruling and reigning in the earth, because that's God's plan and design for you. This can't afford to wait. And I remember a quote, I can't remember who it's from, but he said, my life is so busy and so full, I can't afford not to pray for 3 hours. It was something like that. And I'm like, man, that blew me away. And the reality is, this is such a time and a season to invest in yourself, invest in your personal growth. Do it in community, do it with relationship. Allow yourself to take the hike with a guide who's been there before you. So listen, if you want to conquer, if you want training as a spiritual warrior, let me know. I'm ready. But in the meantime, let's think about these things. Let's let love and kindness be the motivation in all we do. That's Corinthians there. Let's win some battles through our surrender. And let's win our battles by putting our focus attention on the supremacy of Jesus in every situation. So thanks for joining me today. God bless you. I love you guys so much. Again, get a hold of me. This is the time. This is the season to really get into some warrior training, or to get your life in order to remove that mediocrity that you've been stuck with for so long, just fighting the fires in front of you every day. This is the time to take a mountaintop destination hike of your life. And I would love to be your trail guide. So I hope that blesses